The emergency session convened at the worst possible time, which is to say, right when Tribune Vex was about to enjoy his first meal in 72 hours. The holographic summons flickered above his nutrition cube, and he stared at it with the kind of resentment usually reserved for malfunctioning life support systems. All council members report immediately. The message droned. Priority Alpha situation. Vex shoved the cube aside and muttered something anatomically improbable about the council's timing. Priority Alpha meant someone, somewhere, had made a catastrophically stupid decision, and now the rest of them had to clean it up. The council chamber hummed with nervous energy when he arrived. 47 species represented, all looking equally disturbed. That was never a good sign. Usually, at least the methane breathers found something amusing in everyone else's panic. Chancellor Morth, a Valkyrian with skin like weathered stone and patience to match, stood at the center podium. His expression suggested he'd rather be anywhere else. Perhaps in a black hole, maybe two. Colleagues, Morth began, his voice carrying that special tone that meant things were about to get interesting in the worst way possible. We have a situation on Outpost 7. What kind of situation? Number 1, Tribune Kellex asked. The Aquarian's gills fluttered anxiously, which meant the water in her environmental suit was probably getting too warm. Or she was terrified. Hard to tell. Morth tapped the console, and a hologram materialized. A planet. Rocky. Unremarkable. The kind of place you'd fly past without a second thought. Outpost 7 is a research station, Morth continued. 23 scientists, multi-species collaboration studying aggressive fauna for potential military applications. He paused, and Vex felt his stomach drop. 3 days ago, they acquired a specimen, a juvenile, from Earth. The chamber erupted. Voices overlapped, some shouting, others hissing, a few making sounds that didn't translate well through the universal translators. You brought a human cub to a research station. Vex was standing now, though he didn't remember getting up. Have you all lost your collective minds? It was authorized, Morth said, though he didn't sound happy about it. The creature was found alone, separated from its pack. Initial scans suggested it was manageable. Manageable, Vex repeated, tasting the word like spoiled food. A human juvenile, manageable. Everyone in the chamber knew about humans. Everyone who valued their internal organs, staying internal. Anyway, they were the newcomers, the Deathworlders who'd crashed onto the galactic stage like a meteor impact. They didn't just survive their planet, they thrived on it. They turned natural selection into a personal challenge and won. The specimen is approximately 8 standard years old, Morth continued, pulling up another image. Female. Designation, Emma. No family unit located in the database. The hologram showed a small creature. Bipedal. Dark hair. Eyes that should have looked innocent but somehow didn't. She wore what appeared to be scavenged clothing and held something in her arms. A stuffed toy, maybe. It looked like it had been through a war. 8 years. Tribune Kellex breathed. That's practically an infant for their species. Practically, agreed Counselor Thren, a Chitaran whose translator always made him sound disappointed. And yet, here we are. Status report, Vex demanded, sitting back down because his legs suddenly felt unreliable. What happened? Morth's silence lasted 3 seconds too long. Contact with Outpost 7 was lost 18 hours ago. The automated distress beacon activated, then went silent. We dispatched a scout ship. It arrived 4 hours ago. The hologram shifted, showing exterior footage of the research station. The structure looked intact, which was almost worse than finding it destroyed. Destruction you could understand. Destruction made sense. The scouting team entered through the primary airlock, Morth continued, narrating as the footage played. All internal systems functional. Life support nominal. No signs of forced entry or external attack. The video showed empty corridors. Clean. Well lit. Absolutely nothing wrong, which meant everything was wrong. They found the first body in Lab 3. The hologram showed a researcher. Valkyrian. Slumped against a wall, medical kit scattered beside him. His expression suggested his last moments had been spent reconsidering his career choices. Cause of death? Someone asked. Trauma. Blunt force. The medical officer believes the victim was struck repeatedly with a metal tray from the cafeteria. A cafeteria tray. Vex repeated slowly. Someone killed a full-grown Valkyrian with a cafeteria tray. Something, Morth corrected. Killed him with a cafeteria tray. The chamber went quiet. That special kind of quiet that happens when everyone realizes they're standing on the edge of something terrible. Show us the rest, Vex said. The footage continued. More bodies. A methane breather found in the ventilation system, helmet cracked. 2 Aquarians in the hydroponics bay, their suits punctured. A Chitaran in the armory, surrounded by weapons he'd apparently had no time to use. 16 dead, Morth announced. 7 missing. All security footage from the incident is corrupted. The few frames we recovered show this. The hologram flickered, showing grainy, distorted images. Movement in the shadows. Something small and fast. Eyes reflecting in the darkness like a predator's. The human, Tribune Kellix whispered. We believe so, Morth confirmed. Though we can't be certain. Can't be certain? Vex stood again. He seemed to be doing that a lot. Who else would it be? The station's houseplants. The specimen was contained in a reinforced habitat, Morth explained, pulling up schematics. Triple reinforced transparent aluminum, biolocks, sedative gas, dispersion system. It was designed to hold creatures 3 times her size and 10 times her strength. Was being the operative word, Counselor Thren noted. The schematic showed the habitat, or what was left of it. The transparent aluminum had been compromised, but not broken. Someone had opened it from the security console. One of the researchers? Vex suggested, though he already knew the answer. Dr. Hallex, Morth confirmed. Venlarian, specialist in juvenile psychology. She made several log entries expressing concern about the specimen's treatment. A pause. Her body was found near the habitat. Multiple defensive wounds. The implication hung in the air like poison gas. A well-meaning scientist had tried to help, had opened the cage, and had immediately discovered why predators stay caged. The scouting team withdrew immediately. Morth continued. They've established a perimeter. The station is locked down. Nothing gets in or out. And the survivors? Someone asked. Barricaded in the command center. Communications are sporadic. They report sounds in the walls, movement in the ventilation system. They've tried to access the security systems, but the human appears to have sabotaged the controls. Appears to have, Vex echoed. An 8-year-old appears to have sabotaged military-grade security systems. Human 8-year-old, Thren corrected. There's a difference. Yes, Vex agreed bitterly. The difference between annoying and lethal. Chancellor Morth straightened, his expression hardening into something official. Something final. Dub. The council has reviewed the situation, he announced, and Vex felt dread settle in his gut like a stone. Given the extreme danger posed by this creature, and the risk of it escaping containment, we have reached a decision. Please don't, Vex muttered, but he already knew. The council orders the immediate termination of specimen Emma, Morth declared. A specialized unit will be dispatched. The station will be neutralized. All evidence disposed of. You're sending a kill team, Vex translated. For a child. For a human, Morth corrected. There's a difference. The vote was called. 43 in favor. 4 abstentions. Vex stared at his console. At the glowing button that would add his voice to the chorus. He voted against it. Not because he thought it would matter. Not because he believed the girl deserved mercy. But because someone needed to be on record saying this was insane. Motion passes, Morth announced. Tribune Vex, you will oversee the operation. Assemble your team. You leave in 6 hours. Of course they'd make him do it. Vex left the chamber and headed for the military wing. 6 hours to assemble a team capable of killing something that had already killed 16 researchers and terrified 7 more into barricading themselves like siege survivors. 6 hours to figure out how to murder a child. He accessed the personnel database, scrolling through options, special forces, tactical units, assassination specialists, all impressive, all expensive, all completely wrong for this situation. Then he saw a name, and stopped scrolling. Krath. Species, Terran badger. Occupation, independent contractor. Status, available. Vex pulled up the file. The species profile appeared first, and he felt his mandibles click together in dark amusement. Terran badgers. Deathworlders from the same planet as humans. hunted by humans for centuries, survived anyway. Known for three things: digging, persistence, and a complete unwillingness to tolerate nonsense from anything larger than themselves. The contract history was impressive in a horrifying way. Krath had completed 73 missions, all successful. 41 had involved creatures larger than him. 12 had involved creatures classified as apex predators. 3 had involved humans. Vex read the mission reports. Krath didn't do tactics, didn't do strategy. He simply showed up, ignored whatever was trying to kill him, and completed the objective. His payment requests were always the same: nutritional cubes and a quiet place to sleep for 3 days. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Send one Death Worlder to catch another. Vex sent the contract offer and waited. The response came back in 47 seconds. Details. Vex typed quickly. Human juvenile. 8 years. 16 dead. 7 trapped. Neutralized threat. Another pause. Longer this time. 2 minutes. 3. Then, double rations. 5 days sleep. Non-negotiable. Agreed. Vex typed. Transport leaves in 5 hours. I'll be there in 4. The communication ended. Vex leaned back and wondered if he'd just made the situation better or catastrophically worse. In the station's command center, on Outpost 7, Security Chief Malin checked his chronometer again. 20 hours since the incident. 20 hours of listening to sounds in the walls. 20 hours of watching shadows move in places shadows shouldn't be. Anything? Lieutenant Prax asked, her voice cracking slightly. Nothing, Malin replied. No movement in the past hour. Maybe she's gone, someone suggested. Maybe she found another way out. There is no other way out, Malin said. Every exit is sealed. Every vent is monitored. She's still here. Then where? Prax demanded. As if in answer, something skittered in the ceiling. Light. Fast. Gone before anyone could pinpoint the location. She's playing with us, Malin whispered. She knows we're trapped. She's waiting. Waiting for what? Someone asked. Malin didn't answer. He didn't have one. He just gripped his plasma rifle tighter and tried not to think about what an 8-year-old predator might consider fun. In the ventilation shaft, Emma crawled through the darkness, her stuffed rabbit clutched under one arm. She was hungry, tired, scared, but she was very, very good at not dying. And right now, that was all that mattered. Krath arrived at the transport bay with 4 minutes to spare, carrying nothing but a worn satchel and the kind of expression that suggested the universe owed him a nap. He stood roughly knee-high to most species, covered in coarse gray and black fur, with claws designed by evolution to say unpleasant things to solid rock. Tribune Vex watched him approach and felt his confidence waver. This was supposed to save 7 people? You're Krath, Vex stated, because sometimes the obvious needed saying. You're observant, Krath replied, his translator rendering his growl into flat, unimpressed tones. That must be why they put you in charge. Vex's mandibles clicked in irritation. The situation is delicate. The situation is simple, Krath corrected, dropping his satchel. Someone made a mess. You want me to clean it up. Stop wasting time and brief me properly. Vex pulled up the station schematics on a portable display. Outpost 7. 3 levels. The survivors are here, in the command center. Reinforced doors. Limited supplies. They have maybe 48 hours before life support in that section fails. And the girl? Everywhere else. Vex zoomed in on the ventilation system. She's using the ducts, moving constantly. The few times survivors tried leaving the command center, she attacked within minutes. Smart, Krath observed. How'd she take down 16 trained personnel? Ambush tactics. Used the environment. A Valkyrian was crushed by a loading mechanism that someone activated remotely. 2 Aquarians drowned when their breathing apparatus mysteriously malfunctioned in the water recycling system. The methane breather suffocated after his gas line was severed. Someone, Krath repeated. You mean the 8-year-old? Yes. Krath studied the schematics, his dark eyes tracking possible routes. She's not hunting. She's defending territory. Probably thinks the command center survivors will come after her next. Classic siege mentality. Can you extract them safely? Probably not, Krath said cheerfully. But I can try. What's The kill order? Vex hesitated. The council wants the threat eliminated. I asked about the kill order, Krath repeated, looking up. His eyes were remarkably human in their ability to convey judgment, not what politicians want. What are you authorizing? Vex felt something uncomfortable twist in his chest. The mission is survivor extraction, primary objective. If the human prevents that goal, use appropriate force. Appropriate force against a child, Krath said slowly. That's a lovely phrase, very diplomatic. Means absolutely nothing. It means discretion is yours, Vex snapped. Do whatever keeps my people alive. Krath picked up his satchel. Then let's go meet this girl. And Tribune? Next time you need someone killed, hire an assassin. I'm a contractor, not a butcher. The transport docked at Outpost 7 with the gentle thud of artificial gravity compensating for velocity. The airlock cycled, and Krath stepped onto the station alone, ignoring the protest from the pilot. The corridor stretched ahead, clean and empty and wrong. Lights hummed. Air circulators breathed. Everything functional. Everything normal. Except for the smell. Krath's nose twitched. Fear. Old blood. Cleaning chemicals someone had used to scrub away evidence. And underneath it all, something else. Something young and terrified and angry. He moved forward, claws clicking softly on the metal floor. No attempt at stealth. Stealth implied you were prey trying not to be found. Krath wasn't prey. Emma, he called out, his voice echoing. My name is Krath. I'm here to talk. Silence answered. The kind of silence that breathed. I know you're scared. Krath continued, moving deeper into the station. I know these people hurt you. Locked you up. Treated you like a specimen instead of a person. Still nothing. But the air had changed. She was listening. I'm from Earth too, Krath said, which was technically true if you ignored several million years of evolutionary divergence. Different continent, different species, but same planet, same rules. Survive first, apologize never. A sound, faint, above and to the left. Ventilation shaft. Krath didn't look up. The people in the command center, they're not your enemy. Most of them didn't even know you were here. They're just scared workers trying not to die. They put me in a cage, a voice whispered from the darkness. Young, hoarse from screaming or crying or both. They took samples, hurt me. Said I was dangerous. You are dangerous. Krath agreed, still not looking toward the voice. So am I. So is everything worth keeping alive. Dangerous isn't the same as evil. They're going to kill me, Emma said. I heard them talking. Before. They said if I didn't cooperate, they'd terminate the specimen. That's me. The specimen. Krath's claws scraped the floor. They might try. Might succeed. Might not. But those 7 people trapped in that room, they didn't make that decision. They're just trying to survive, same as you. Why should I care? The voice moved. Different vent. She was circling him. Good instincts. Because you're human, Krath said simply. And humans are weird. You could kill them easily. Sabotage their life support. Wait them out. But you haven't. You've just been keeping them contained. That means part of you doesn't want to. Maybe I'm just saving them for later, Emma suggested, her voice carrying an edge that would have been more convincing if it didn't waver. Maybe, Krath allowed. Or maybe you're 8 years old and scared and don't actually want to be a killer. Just a guess. Metal creaked. The vent cover above him shifted slightly. Krath finally looked up. 2 eyes stared down at him from the darkness, reflecting the corridor lights, evaluating. You're small, Emma observed. So are you, Krath countered. Hasn't stopped you from terrifying everyone here. You're not scared. I'm from Earth. Takes more than an angry child to scare me. Try adding fire and rocks falling from the sky. That gets my attention. A pause. Then, what do you want? I want to get those people out of the command center, Krath said honestly. Then I want to figure out what to do with you. In that order. They'll kill me, Emma repeated. The council. I heard the transmission. They voted. They voted to send me, Krath corrected. And I haven't decided what I'm doing yet. But I can't decide anything while 7 people are dying of dehydration in a locked room. So here's my offer. Let me get them out. Let me send them away. Then we talk. Just us. No weapons. No tricks. Why would you do that? Because unlike everyone else here, I actually understand what you are, Krath said. You're a kid from a death world who got grabbed by idiots who thought they could study you like a bacteria sample. You did what any of us would do. You survived. That's not evil. That's just Earth. The silence stretched. Krath could hear her breathing. Fast. Shallow. She was crying. He realized. Silently. The way you cry when you've learned that making noise brings pain. If I let them go, Emma whispered. Promise you won't let them hurt me. I promise I'll try very hard to prevent that, Krath said. I can't promise it absolutely. Life doesn't work that way. But I can promise I won't hurt you myself. And I can promise I'll stand between you and anyone who tries. That's the best offer you're getting. More silence. Then the vent cover lifted completely, and a small figure dropped down. She landed in a crouch, ready to run or fight. Her clothes were torn. Her hair was matted. She clutched a stuffed rabbit that looked like it had survived an apocalypse. She was tiny. Absolutely tiny. And she'd killed 16 people. Okay, Emma said. Get them out. Then we talk. Krath nodded. Stay here. I'll handle it. He walked to the command center, leaving Emma in the corridor, trusting her not to attack. Trusting his instincts that said she wasn't a killer, just someone who'd been forced to become one. He hoped his instincts were right. They usually were. Usually. The command center door was impressive, reinforced titanium, magnetic locks, designed to withstand hull breaches and hostile boarding actions. Krath knocked, politely. Security Chief Malen, he called. My name is Krath. I'm here to extract you. Open the door. Suspicious silence. Then, identify yourself properly. I'm a Terran Badger who's having a very long day, Krath replied. I was hired by Tribune Vex to clean up this mess. The human juvenile has agreed to let you leave peacefully. I suggest you accept before she changes her mind. Agreed? Malin's voice cracked slightly. You negotiated with it? I negotiated with her, Krath corrected sharply. Her name is Emma. She's 8. She's terrified. And she's been remarkably restrained considering you people kidnapped and tortured her. Now open this door before I lose patience. How do we know this isn't a trick? Krath sighed. Because if it were a trick, she'd have simply cut your oxygen and waited. She's in your ventilation system. She controls your life support. She's had 20 hours to kill you easily. Think about why she hasn't. The locks disengaged, the door slid open. 7 faces stared at him, pale and exhausted and desperate. Everybody out, Krath ordered. Move quickly. Don't look at her. Don't speak to her. Just walk to the docking bay and get on the shuttle. Understood? They nodded, filing out carefully. Krath watched them go, then turned to see Emma still standing where he'd left her, pressed against the wall, looking small and lost and nothing like the monster these people feared. Lieutenant Prax was the last to leave. She paused, looking at Emma. It killed my friends, she whispered. She defended herself against people who were hurting her, Krath corrected. There's a difference. Now move. Prax left. The corridor emptied. Just Krath and Emma remained. They're gone, Krath said. As promised. Emma nodded, still, clutching her rabbit. Now what? Now we call Tribune Vex and tell him the situation has changed. Vex appeared on the holographic display, his expression hovering between relief and confusion. Status? Survivors extracted, Krath reported. All 7. Unharmed. They're boarding the shuttle now. And the human? Standing right here, Krath said. Listening to you decide her fate. Again. Vex's mandibles clicked. The Council's orders were clear. The Council can file their orders in the nearest recycling chute, Krath replied calmly. I'm not killing a child who is defending herself against illegal captivity and experimentation. If you want her dead, send someone else. I quit. You can't quit, Vex sputtered. We have a contract. Had a contract, Krath corrected. Past tense. I completed the primary objective. Survivors extracted. Anything beyond that is optional. And I'm opting out. Emma watched this exchange with wide eyes, her expression flickering between hope and disbelief. Vex was quiet for a long moment. Then, what do you suggest? Return her to Earth, Krath said. Find her family if she has one. Find her a family if she doesn't. Apologize profusely. Maybe throw in some financial compensation. Then leave humanity alone for a few decades while they forget you kidnapped one of their children. The Council will never approve that, Vex said flatly. Then the Council should prepare for the inevitable consequences when humanity finds out what happened, Krath replied. Because they will find out. Humans are persistent, and vindictive, and really, really good at holding grudges. Is one scared kid worth starting a war? Another silence. Longer. Vex's expression shifted through several configurations of dismay. I'll need to convene an emergency session, he finally said. Keep her there. Keep her safe. I'll contact you within 6 hours. The transmission ended. Krath looked at Emma. You really quit? She asked quietly. I really quit, Krath. Confirmed. I don't kill kids. Professional policy. What if they send someone else? Then that someone will have to go through me first, Krath said. And I'm very annoying to kill. Comes from surviving millions of years of humans trying. We're stubborn that way. Emma managed a small, broken smile. Thank you. Don't thank me yet, Krath said. Politics move slowly. We've got 6 hours. You should eat something. When's the last time you had actual food? 3 days, Emma admitted. I found some ration bars in the storage room. Krath opened his satchel, pulling out nutrition cubes. Not great, but better than nothing. Sit, eat, rest. They sat together in the corridor, a badger and a girl, 2 death-worlders far from home, sharing food in a station full of ghosts. Will they really let me go home? Emma asked between bites. Probably, Krath said. They're politicians. Cowards mostly. The thought of angry humans showing up asking questions will motivate them wonderfully. I didn't want to hurt anyone, Emma whispered. I was just so scared. They wouldn't stop. The tests. The needles. The questions. I just wanted them to stop. I know, Krath said gently. You did what you had to do. That's not your fault. That's theirs. My parents, Emma said suddenly. They were scientists. We were on a research trip. Our ship crashed. I don't know if they survived. I woke up here. Krath felt something cold settle in his chest. I'll make sure they search for them. If they're alive, we'll find them. Promise? Promise, Krath said. Earth takes care of its own, even the weird ones like us. 6 hours later, Tribune Vex's face appeared again on the display. He looked exhausted, defeated, but something like relief flickered in his eyes. The Council has agreed to revise terms, he announced. The human will be returned to Earth. We'll conduct a search for her parents. If found, they'll be returned as well. If not, human authorities will be contacted to arrange placement. And? Krath prompted, because there was always an and. And? This incident will be classified. Vex continued. Sealed records, no public disclosure. The researchers who died will be listed as victims of equipment malfunction. The girl remembers nothing. Understood? Absolutely not, Krath said cheerfully. The girl remembers everything. And humanity gets the full truth. Those are my terms. That's not acceptable, Vex protested. Then send your kill team, Krath suggested. See how that works out. But I'm guessing humanity might be interested in knowing why you're so desperate to silence a child. Makes you look guilty. Very guilty. Vex's expression cycled through several emotions, none of them pleasant. You're blackmailing the Council. I'm negotiating, Krath corrected. Just like you taught me. Supply and demand. You supply the truth. Humanity demands it. I'm just the middleman. Fine, Vex said finally, the word emerging like a physical injury. Full disclosure. But it goes through proper diplomatic channels. No media leaks. Acceptable, Krath agreed. Now send the transport. We're going home. 3 days later, Krath stood in a human government facility on Earth, watching through observation glass as Emma reunited with her parents. They'd been found in a survival pod, drifting, injured but alive. The girl who'd terrified an entire research station was crying. Her parents were crying. The stuffed rabbit was getting squeezed between them. You did good work, Tribune Vex said, standing beside him. He'd come personally to oversee the transfer. Better than I expected. You expected me to kill her, Krath said flatly. I expected you to follow orders, Vex corrected. I'm glad you didn't. Will the council learn anything from this? Krath asked. Vex was quiet. Then, probably not, but at least this time, nobody started a war. Give it time, Krath said. Humans remember everything. They'll come asking questions eventually. What you did here, what you almost did. They'll want answers. Let them ask, Vex said tiredly. Maybe by then we'll have learned to give better ones. Krath watched Emma laugh through her tears, watched her parents hold her like they'd never let go, and felt something settle in his chest. Something like satisfaction. I'm keeping the extra rations, he announced. And the 5 days sleep. Contract terms. Take 7 days, Vex said. You earned them. Krath nodded and walked away, leaving the politicians to their diplomacy and the humans to their reunion. He had a transport to catch and a very comfortable sleeping pod waiting. Behind him, Emma looked up through the glass and waved. A small gesture. Simple. Human. Krath waved back. Some missions, he thought, you complete not by following orders, but by remembering what orders are supposed to protect. 7 survivors extracted. 1 child saved. No war started. Not bad for a day's work. Not bad at all. The transport lifted off, carrying one very tired badger away from Earth, away from council politics, away from questions about right and wrong and the space between them. Somewhere in the galaxy, the council would argue about protocols and procedures and what had gone wrong. Somewhere on Earth, a family was whole again. And somewhere in between, a contract had been completed in the only way that mattered. Everyone went home alive, even the monsters, especially the monsters. Because sometimes, the scariest thing in the galaxy isn't the predator. It's knowing when not to hunt.